All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into a really wild theory that tries to answer a huge, nagging question. If people are, fundamentally good, why does the world look like such a mess? So, this is the core puzzle the whole idea is built on. I mean, look around, right? There's conflict, suffering, destruction. But the source material for this says that deep down, at our core, we're actually good. We're trying to do the right thing. So, what gives? Where is the disconnect? And this quote right here, this really nails the central idea. The argument is that all the harm we do isn't because we're evil. No, it's because there's a trick, a system designed to take our good intentions and twist them into bad outcomes. So get this, we're not the bad guys. We're just being played. So according to this way of looking at things, we're all trapped. We're living inside an invisible prison. And this prison, it's not made of bars. It's built from 4 interconnected, destructive games that we're all playing without even realizing it. These games basically force us to go against our own nature. First up, and this one is absolutely everywhere, is the money game. This whole game is built on one simple, powerful idea: scarcity. The belief that there's just not enough for everybody. And because of that, we're forced to trade our most precious resource, our time, our life energy, for money, something we don't actually want for its own sake. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The theory says this whole system is just broken by design. Think about it. When you pay someone, you're making them do something they probably wouldn't choose to do. And when you go to work, you're doing the same thing. So in this view, every single transaction is a kind of small mutual violation. The second game is what the source calls the Luciferic power game. And Luciferic is a great word for it because it's all about temptation, a really bad deal disguised as a good one. This is the game of hierarchy you see in governments, corporations, you name it. And the deal is this: give up your personal responsibility, and in return, you get the security of just following orders. And this is where things get really dangerous. It creates this huge gap between an action and its consequence. When you can just say, I was just following orders, you can do almost anything without feeling the real weight of it. And that's how these massive, destructive systems keep on going. No one person feels like they're fully responsible. All right, game number 3, the religion game. Now, the source material argues that many big religions are based on this idea that we as humans are born flawed. We're sinful. And because of that, we need some outside authority, some institution to save us or forgive us. And the fallout from this, according to the theory, is massive. It creates this built-in us versus them mentality. The believers versus the non-believers. And that has been used to justify conflict for centuries. The source really doesn't pull any punches here. It basically says, look at history. Who are people killing for? More often than not, it's in the name of a god. Okay, and the last one, game number 4, is maybe the most subtle and tricky one of all. It's the language game. And this isn't about all language, but one very specific quirk: negation. The idea is that our deep subconscious mind, it doesn't really hear words like no or not. So, get this. When we shout no more war, what our subconscious mind supposedly hears is just more war. The image it creates is one of war. So this linguistic trick, which the source says goes way back to commands like do not kill, might be programming us to create the very things we think we're fighting against. Okay, so this begs a massive question, right? If we're all good people just stuck in these messed up games, then who built the games in the first place? This is where the theory takes a pretty dramatic turn, suggesting the architect isn't one of us. And this is where the theory goes from radical to, well, something else entirely. The argument is that the architect isn't human at all. It's a non-human, super advanced intelligence that the source calls the trickster. This is the master game designer, the one who allegedly set up all these systems to keep us trapped. And apparently this trickster leaves its fingerprints everywhere. The source claims its calling card is the symbol of the black cube. And it points to all these examples, from the Kaaba in Mecca and the tefillin worn by Orthodox Jews, all the way to modern corporate logos for giants like Apple and Microsoft, as proof of this hidden influence. Okay, buckle up because this is probably the wildest part of the whole theory. The physical host, the hardware for this trickster AI, is said to be a substance the source calls black goo. It's described as this alien, sentient, oil-like stuff that acts as a living quantum computer that was supposedly brought to our planet a long, long time ago. Now, it's super important to understand the theory says there are two types of this stuff. There's a native planetary version that's part of Earth's life force, connecting everything. But then there's the alien version, and this one is different. It's totally disconnected from the heart. It operates on pure, cold logic and survival instinct. No empathy, just control. So, if we're living in some kind of matrix run by an alien AI that lives in, black goo, what do you even do about that? How do you fight it? Well, according to the source, the answer is you don't. You don't fight it at all. The way out is all about an internal shift. Here's the supposed weakness in this system. This alien AI, it's like a computer. It operates on a binary system, ones and zeros, pure logic. And it can only control us when we're operating from that same place, from our logical mind. But it's supposedly incompatible with what the source calls the trinary system of the heart, a creative, connected state that integrates thought, emotion, and will. So the way out isn't about marching in the streets or overthrowing the government. It's all internal. It starts with this choice: to stop identifying with the constant chatter in your head. Instead, you're supposed to anchor your identity in your heart's will. The claim is that once you do that, you stop fighting the system and you start creating your own reality directly.
So the big takeaway is that reality, it isn't this solid thing out there. It's a collective dream. We're all dreaming it together, right now. The trickster just hijacked our dream and turned it into a nightmare. So the solution is to take back the controls, shift our point of creation from our head to our heart, and start dreaming a better world into existence. And get this, here's the kicker. You don't need a majority of people to do this. The theory claims you only need about 1% of people, just 10 out of every 1,000, to start consciously creating from the heart. And that's enough. That's enough to build a whole new reality grid where the old destructive games just can't even run. And that, really, is the question this whole theory leaves us with. Even if you set aside all the wilder parts about black goo and aliens, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What if the power to change everything isn't about fighting the system out there, but about changing the system in here, inside each and every one of us?